So I'm Simon.
I'm Jeanette.
And we're from Roots of Idrisil. So why are we here today, Jeanette?
We're here today to film our very first chair-based exercise video.
We have done these before. The thing is that this is the first time we've ever tried to film one full length. It might be a bit chunky and clunky in places because neither of us are videographers. We're filming this on a mobile phone in our spare bedroom. Now, Jeanette, can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm coming up for 60. I've got asthma, I've got osteoarthritis, I've got a double knee replacement, so technically I'm one of the at risk, should I say, people. I find chair-based exercise classes good for my mental and physical health. I want to give the opportunity to people who are isolated to take advantage of this, even though they can't get to our classes.
Yeah, we normally work with the infirm, the elderly in rural and impoverished areas. Our classes have all had to be cancelled as our average user is between the age of 50 and 100. Our oldest user is 98, and as you can understand, we don't want to put these people at risk with unnecessary social gatherings. So today, our class is designed for people with arthritis, osteoporosis, COPD, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, etc., etc. Now, the only people who can't really do this will be anyone who's got an underlying heart condition. And I would like to be aware at the moment in time that if you have high blood pressure, we would appreciate you to keep your feet moving throughout the entire routine, as this reduces your risk of having a heart attack or having the blood pressure raise. Now, exercise is a great motivator, it's a great equalizer, and it can be applied to a whole host of medical conditions. In this case, the routine is designed to take you through a gentle warm-up, put you through some basic chair-based exercises, only using your body weight and a
seat,
and a chair. Now, at any point during this you want to stop and take a rest, please do. We aren't going to force you to do anything. We are very laid back when it comes to this. A little is better than nothing.
Absolutely.
Now, Jeanette, how did you become a personal trainer?
Well, actually, Simon asked me to help him with the company. Given the fact I was 57 years old and just left my job as a financial advisor, I was looking for another job. And he said, "Mum, would you help me in the business?" And I thought, yeah, why not? It sounds fun. It wasn't. It was really hard work for somebody who spent 30 odd years in financial services. To suddenly have to learn about anatomy and physiology was not an easy jump. But I did it because I was really passionate about what we're bringing to society and to the community.
Now, due to COVID-19, a lot of people are going to be isolated at this moment in time. So how do you think this routine will help those at home?
It will improve your mental and physical health. Believe it or not, even if you're self-isolated and lonely, just doing a little bit of exercise just boosts your morale. It makes you feel as though you're doing something. So please don't just sit on the settee and watch TV and feel sorry for yourself. Just do a little bit of exercise, even if it's just 10 minutes a day. It will make you feel better.
This is the first ever full-length video we've ever done, as I've said. So what we're going to be doing now is cutting through to the video itself, and at the end of it we'll let you know a bit more about the online resources that they're developing. If you have any questions, please comment below or drop us a message. We're always happy to hear from anyone, and any feedback would be appreciated because we are completely new at this.
Yeah.
We're not amateurs at the personal training side of things, but we are amateurs when it comes to video editing and photography. Thank you.
Thank you. Throughout this exercise routine, you're going to hear a technical term called spinal neutral. All that basically means is that you're going to sit up straight with your back off the chair, so your tummy tucked in. I want you to sit as straight as possible. Okay. We're going to start with a 3-minute warm-up routine. I'm going to talk you through each learning point, and then we will do a routine. So the first exercise is going to be heel raise. So what I want you to do is sit with your spinal neutral, with your feet flat on the floor and your knees bent. I want you to place your hands on your knees, and I want you to lift your calves off the floor in a controlled manner, putting pressure on your calves, clenching your calves in as you come up, in a controlled movement, and then down again. So I'm going to just do that one more, okay? And we're going to do that for a minute. You ready? Now, we can build up intensity, or the speed should I say. I'm going to do this for a minute. Remember, lift your feet, or your heels should I say, off the floor as high as you can, as high as you're comfortable with. It doesn't matter how high that is. And it doesn't matter how fast you go, but if you can build up speed during that minute, that would be perfect.
So the reason that we do a warm-up routine is this helps elevate your heart rate bit by bit by bit, gets your body ready for the bulk of the exercise.
And don't forget to breathe. Okay, is everybody alright with that?
Remember, if at any point you feel as though you can't do this, please just take a break. We don't want you to overexert yourself.
And the fact that we're saying a minute, it doesn't have to be a minute, it could be half a minute, it could be a minute and a half. It's entirely whatever you want it to be. Okay. Okay, and then relax. The second warm-up routine is going to be just a march. So again, I want you to sit up straight in the spine in neutral position, feet flat on the floor, and lift your legs off the floor as high as you comfortably can manage. Okay, and again, it's at your speed and at your height.
If you want to make this a little bit harder, you bring your arms into motion like you're marching like a soldier.
And that just raises your heart. Okay, everybody alright with that? Again, the time you want to spend on this is entirely up to you. And if you need to have a rest, have a rest. And don't forget to breathe. Everybody okay with this? And rest. The next warm-up is going to be something called a dynamic stretch. So it's going to pec stretch. It's going to warm up you, stretch your pecs up here. So sit up with your back in neutral position. Sit up straight, and I want you to just move your hands like that. Okay, is everybody okay?
Again, we're going for a minute. You don't have to do the full minute, but we do recommend you try and do that to get the most out of this. This dynamic stretching will reduce the risk of injury throughout the exercise routine and help get your upper body ready for the next stage. Again, if you have any questions at any point, please let us know in the comments below or drop us a message.
Is everybody okay with this? If you need to rest, have a rest. And I can't stress enough, don't forget to breathe. Is everybody okay? And relax. Okay, now you've completed the warm-up, so we're going to move on to the next set.
And our first bad cut is now. Jeanette will be demonstrating the exercises today whilst I run through the major teaching points. Our first exercise is called a leg extension. Now we would like to take a moment to remind you to keep your spine neutral throughout all these exercises unless we tell you otherwise. Raise your foot off the floor by contracting the thigh and squeezing at the top of the movement, holding for 5 seconds before gently lowering your feet back down to the floor. Then repeat with the other leg. And relax. We're going to do this 15 times on each leg and then take a 30-second rest in between. Again, we apologise for the lack of music during the video, as we're not sure about YouTube's copyright laws and we don't have access to any free music at this moment in time. We hope to amend this in future videos.
Don't forget, if you need to have a rest, have a rest. You're not in competition, you're not in a race.
And relax. Now this helps the quadriceps, stabilizing the knee and helps prevent bone degradation, so it helps offset osteoporosis. Great for arthritis, rheumatoid and osteo. And if you have high blood pressure at this point, remember, keep moving your feet around, otherwise you might unnecessarily cause some extra tension. And our second set. You may have noticed that the shoebox in the corner has teleported out of shot. We broke down the videos as Jenna had to nip out with the dog as he wouldn't stop barking while we were trying to film the routine.
Wanted to play.
And relax. Again, we press reiterate, doing 2 sets of 15. However, as Jeanette pointed out, neither of us were keeping count there. We hope to make sure that we start keeping count in the next sets of exercises. And now for the next awful cut. Our second exercise is called the hamstring contraction. Again, sit with your spine in neutral, in a comfortable position on the edge of the chair, with your knees bent and feet flat on the floor. Now I'm going to pan down and show Jeanette's feet for this one. I apologise in advance because she hasn't had time to paint her toenails and she thought it would be best for me to highlight this. So straighten your right leg slightly and lift the toes of your right foot off of the floor, leaving only the heel touching the floor. Contract your hamstring muscles and press your heels into the floor, driving your heel down into that surface. Can you feel that?
Yep.
So this is the opposite muscle group of what we were doing in the first exercise. We're holding it for a count of up to 10 seconds and then switching legs. We're going to do this for 15 times on each leg. Now, for convenience sake with the video, to make sure the file is not too large, we're just going to go through 1 or 2 of these with you, and then hopefully you've taken enough away to be able to do it yourself. And change. And change. And change. One last time on each leg. And change. Now you'll be doing this 15 times on each leg and then taking a 30-second rest and then repeating it. This is a great way of stabilizing the back of the knee, especially if you've got arthritis or osteoporosis. Helps relieve joint pain, helps strengthen the bones, and helps increase your balance so that you're less likely to injure yourself if you slip, trip, or fall. And hopefully keep you out of hospital while the entire epidemic's going on. Thank you. Our third exercise is called hip abduction. Sit on the chair with your knees bent, feet flat on the floor and legs together, spine in neutral as always. Place your hands on either side of your knees, as Jeanette is showing at the moment, and gently exert pressure on the outside of the legs. Now, try and move your knees apart while maintaining the pressure, pushing as hard as you can, but try not to strain yourself. Count to 5, and then relax and return to the start. We're going to do this for 15 reps, take a 30-second rest, and then go again. Now we're just going to demonstrate the first set. Go. And relax. And relax. And relax. And relax. And relax. Eight, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Again, great exercise to strengthen the knees, strengthen the bone density around the legs, and help maintain that muscle mass while you're stuck at home. Thank you. This next exercise is called hip adduction, and it's the opposite of the one we did before. Now this time sit on the chair with your knees slightly apart, spine in neutral, and place either one fist or two between your legs. You can use a tennis ball for this if you've got it, it's much more effective. And all you're going to do is squeeze your knees together towards the hands. As last time, we're just going to go through the first set with you for a set of 15, and you're going to take a 30-second rest in between. Now Jeanette's going to begin.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Well done. Now this exercise is great for strengthening the inner thighs, again stabilising the knee, and it will really help reduce the wastage of muscle mass and increase bone density while you're at home.
Okay.
This next exercise is called the chair squat. Now unlike the other ones, Jeanette's not going to be doing as many of them as she's had a double knee replacement. This is probably the most intense exercise that we'll be doing throughout this routine, but it's a great way of building the muscle mass around the knees, the thighs, the glutes, and basically helping create that bone density, stop the wastage. And if you can build up to 2 sets of 15, then you're doing amazing. So with the chair squat, you just sit down on the chair and raise to the standing position, please. Stand with your feet shoulder width apart. Now I apologise for not getting her lovely face in shot. However, we have very confined space while we're doing this. Now, slowly lower yourself to the chair and briefly sit down. Keeping your knees and ankles in place, your weight and your heels through the full range of motion, begin to stand up and straighten your body back to the beginning. And down. And up. Now, be sure to tighten your abdominals if you're doing this to help support your back. So this is the standing version of this spine in neutral. Jeanette's had a double knee replacement, so she won't be doing all 15.
And you can hear my knees cracking.
Yeah. And rest. Now again, taking a 30-second rest halfway through it. If you can't do the full 15, just do as many as you can. And then try a second set, even if it's just 1 or 2. Again, we want to stress that just do this to the best of your ability. We're not trying to force you into anything like this. We're not doing a boot camp. This is about you taking control of your own health, and we understand that everyone isn't as capable as others. Thank you for your time. So this next exercise is called making a fist, and it's fantastic if you've got arthritis.
Absolutely. I've got osteoarthritis, and I do this exercise all the time, whether I'm sat on the chair, in the bath, in bed. It's just a brilliant way of getting mobility in your fingers when they're swollen and stiff.
Also, if you ever get carpal tunnel or anything like that, this is a great way of relieving that. But anyway, you don't have our story. We'll get into the exercises teaching points. So start with bringing your hands down and your fingers straight. Then slowly bend your hand into a fist, placing your thumb on the outside of your hand. Now remember to be gentle and don't squeeze your fist together. This is about movement, not tense. Then open your hand back out until the fingers are straight once again, as far as possible.
Imagine you're giving your fingers a yawn.
And we're just going to do this for 15 times on each hand. You can do both together if you want, or you can do them alternately. The way that I like to say it is that don't do it at the same pressure that you'd break a nail.
Definitely. And remember, it does feel as though you're giving your fingers a yawn. Stretch as far as you can. Okay.
Now with this one, I'm just going to go straight through for 15. Jeanette's now going to show you how clever she is and do both at the same time.
See? I can't touch my toes though. Oh, I do love this exercise.
So again, if you've got osteoarthritis or rheumatoid arthritis, this is a great way of maintaining flexibility or regaining flexibility. We have had several people we've shown this to who now do it every day, and they couldn't really move their hands at the start, and now they've maintained and gained.
They get movement.
Yeah. And relax.
So,
now you take 30 seconds rest in between this. Again, this is just to let the muscles have a bit of a break. Interesting fact at this point in time, there are no muscles in your hands. The muscles in your hands are actually in your forearm. So when we're working our hands, we're working our forearms as well. The reason that it really benefits the joints, though, is that it's just getting the flexibility moving, is increasing the range of movement. Anyway, now to the next exercise. So this next exercise is called Make a Zero. Start with your hands out straight, and then gently bring your fingers in to touch and make a zero position. And then straighten them out again, and back in. Now, the reason that we're doing this is to maintain mobility with the hands. This is very, very gentle, but while you're sat at home all day, you'll find that you're starting to get stiff. This is a great way of just loosening up.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
And now take a 30-second rest. Now, we're not going to go through the second set with you because you're all adults, but we will leave you with this while you're resting to think over it. If you ever know anyone who has carpal tunnel, or again any problems with mobility in the fingers such as rheumatoid arthritis or osteoarthritis, this is something that you can do anywhere, when you're in the queue, when you're boiling the kettle, and it will really start to make a difference to your daily life if you keep it up. Again, this is one of our favourite exercises, as with all our hand exercises, because they're so simple and you can literally take them anywhere. You've always got them in your pocket. Now moving on to the head and the neck, this is called the chin tuck. So place 2 fingers on your chin and retract the chin in and forcing your neck back. Hold for a few seconds and then bring your head forward like a turtle sticking its head out the shell, and repeat. We're going to do this for 15 times, then take a 30-second rest in between. Now, if you sat down watching TV all day, or you got your head bent over a computer working at home, or you find that you just sat there in your chair reading, this is a great way of releasing tension in the neck. It's a great way of increasing blood flow to the head and helping bring your posture back into correct alignment.
This is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
And thank you. Jeanette doesn't really like this exercise. She finds it quite awkward at times. But this is, again, a great way of correcting forward head posture. If you know anyone who's got a desk job, this is something that you can teach them and go, by the way, guys, if you do this, you won't get as many headaches at work. Anyway, on to our penultimate exercise before we begin our cool down now. So this is called the mid-scaling and upper trapezius stretch. Again, sticking with the theme of the neck, this is basically your upper and mid-shoulders. Great way of, again, releasing tension, headaches, and releasing pressure around the neck. If you sat down a lot at home watching TV or on your laptop or anything like that, you'll find that you start to get pain in the back of the neck. And this is sometimes leads to something called upper cross syndrome or forward head posture. Now, again, with this one, you tuck your chin in like you did before in the chin tucks, but you don't need to use your fingers this time. Bring one hand over to the other side of your head, over the top. Now gently bring your head down towards the ear, and you should feel a stretch at the side of the neck. Can you demonstrate where you can feel it, please? Yep. Now all you're going to do is hold it there for 20 to 30 seconds whilst keeping your head tucked back. Remember, it's not about trying to pull hard on this one as you could injure yourself. Just do it when you can feel some pressure and then stop.
Okay.
And then change to the other side. So tuck your chin in. A little bit more to the left. Feel it down there?
Yeah.
Now women will also find with this one that if you wear a handbag or have worn a handbag consistently, you'll feel it more on the shoulder where you keep your handbag.
Yeah. Much worse on that side.
Yeah. And this is a great way of, again, correcting your posture. This is a corrective exercise technique that not many personal trainers use, but hopefully now that we're putting it out there on the internet, this will become something that's in everyone's toolkit. Again, this is an exercise you can do wherever you go. I do it whenever I get out of the car or wherever I've been on a bus or whenever I'm just feeling a little bit of a headache coming on, and you'd be amazed at how effective it can be. Anyway, now onto our final exercise before we begin our cool down. So this final exercise in the main bulk of the routine is called a shoulder blade squeeze. It works the muscles behind the scapula, which is your shoulder blades, and helps bring them back into alignment, easing back pain from being sat in a desk or in a chair all day. I find that my shoulders really hurt when I've been sat in the settee for too long. Now, position your feet and knees slightly wider than your hips and rotate it slightly outwards. Maintain a chin tuck and raise your chest up, allowing your spine to return to the neutral position that we've shown before, with your spine away from the back of the chair. Now remember, throughout this exercise, if you ever have to return to this position, just take a quick breath, return to this position and continue. Now bring your arms back and slightly rotate the arms so that your thumbs are facing backwards. You should feel this in between the shoulder blades now. And you're going to hold it for 5 to 10 seconds. Now we're just going to demonstrate the first set as before, and then have a 30-second rest in between.
2, 3,
Remember to keep your chin tucked in, your tummy tucked in.
4, 5.
Now I've dislocated my shoulder before, and I find that this was a great way of rebuilding the strength after the dislocation.
6.
This is a corrective exercise technique not used by all personal trainers or medical professionals, and is more akin to physiotherapy than most exercise.
8.
This is one of my favourite exercises. I do this every day when I get out of the car. I do this every day when I've been on public transport or when I've been sat at a desk too long.
10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15.
Now you should be able to feel the tightness in the back of your shoulders now. I find it quite relaxing. We say that sometimes there's things called a good pain and a bad pain. I find that initially when you're doing this, it's quite awkward, but over time you'll find that this really helps bring your shoulders back, helps reduce long-term pain. If you ever get pain between your shoulder blades, this is the exercise to do to strengthen those muscles up. Just remember to keep your head back as you're doing so. Thank you for this has been the bulk of the routine, and now we're going to go on to the cool down again, and for our final really bad cut.
Okay, thank you for taking part in this exercise program. I hope you've enjoyed it. Before we finish, we're going to do a cool down for 2 minutes now, and this is basically just telling our bodies that we finished exercising and bringing our heart rate down. So for convenience sake, because you already know the teaching points, we're going to use the march, the seated march and the dynamic pec stretch. So what I want you to do is sit up straight with your spine in neutral. For the seated march, I'm going to do a minute cool down. So again, we're going to just raise our legs as high as we can, gently reducing the intensity of the march. So I hope everybody's enjoyed this. And, you notice we didn't put any music to it. Thought you could play with your own music. It does help lift the levels a little bit if you put your own music on.
Also, we're not really sure how YouTube's copyright policies work at this point, or Facebook's, and the last thing we wanted to do was create an online resource for people to use at home and have it taken down due to our misunderstanding of the legal terminologies. Also, we don't want to pay Universal Music a fortune to use some of their songs.
This is absolutely true too. And they might not like our music. Okay, and then relax, and we're going to go straight into the dynamic peg stretch. So if you remember, sit up straight, spine in neutral, and just gently move your arms backwards and forwards. Again, reducing the intensity, stretching off your muscles, letting them know that you've finished.
As we go through this last point of the routine, I'd like to thank you all for joining us on this. If you have any feedback, please let us know in the comments below. We'd be really interested in hearing what you have to say. We want to do more of these videos, and we plan to make these a constant thing throughout the future and gradually improve them bit by bit by bit. Hopefully one of the things we'll do is get a microphone so that our voices are more clear and you don't have to listen to my heavy breathing in the background. But in the meantime, we don't really have a budget for this. The COVID-19's hit us quite hard, and as we said, we're having to improvise and use our mobile phones. So thank you for bearing with us.
Thank you. You've enjoyed it. And relax. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to do any more exercises or you want to any other routines, let us know. We'll be happy to put something together.
Also, if you check out our website, we will be uploading routines every other day for a wide range of medical conditions, from asthma to COPD through to diabetes, high cholesterol. And we plan on creating specialist classes for our online resources as well, designed around specific conditions which you can do at home.
Okay, bye.
Bye.